Everybody, welcome to another thrilling episode of Data Double Click. I'm your host, Scott Klein, and with me today is Danny. Danny, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So Danny, it's a special guest because Danny is all the way from Serbia. He's in town meeting with the SQL engineering team. And so before we get started, why don't you take a second and introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm Danny Lipava, Program Manager for Azure SQL Database. I work on database performance, specifically on Azure SQL Analytics, a monitoring tool used to manage performance of Azure SQL databases, elastic pools, and managed instances. And I also work on automatic tuning.
Sweet. Okay. So we've been trying to get Danny in here for a while because he's got some awesome stuff to show, and he's finally in town. We could probably have done this remote, but it's much more exciting to have you in person. So actually, we've got another video. Joe Sack, we're going to do remote because he's not going to be in here, so we have to do him remote. But you're in town, we're going to have you. So you're here to talk about SQL Analytics, right? So let's just jump right in. What is that? Because it's awesome. Did they announce this at all at Ignite?
Yeah, I was just last week at Ignite.
Okay.
And this solution has been in existence for a year now. But last year we have introduced support for managed instance.
Okay. All right. So let's jump right in. What do you have?
So Azure SQL Analytics is out of the box Azure's native performance monitoring tool for Azure SQL databases, elastic pools, and managed instances. And it does that at scale. So you can manage across multiple subscriptions, multiple elastic pools, multiple managed instances, all with a single pane of glass with the built-in intelligence on top that helps you automatically troubleshoot database performance issues. And it does that by telling you what a performance issue is and maybe any steps that you can take to remediate the issue.
Okay, so I get, like you said, one pane of glass, and however many databases or pools I've got, I can manage all of those in one location.
You can manage a lot in this particular demo that I have. I have 1,600 databases and 38 elastic pools. This is what you what you'll see on the screen.
Okay.
And it supports anywhere from one database to tens of thousands of databases.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some clients using even 200,000 databases to monitor the solution. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Okay. It's at scale cloud-based monitoring solution.
Okay, let's jump in because I'm thinking, given a UI, it'd be interesting to see, how you manage 200,000 databases, right? Things like that. But I'm sure you'll answer that through the demo, right? Even tens of thousands, I'm like, that seems like a lot. But anyway, let's jump right in.
This is conceptually how Azure SQL Analytics works. It collects all this telemetry from all the Azure SQL databases, elastic pool managed instances, databases managed instances. It sends them to our solution, where you have this main performance dashboard. It has the built-in intelligence for the performance. It stores all the telemetry for 30 days, so that means you can go back and you can query this telemetry. You can do custom reports, custom querying. You can use log analytics language to search through the queries and to set up the alerts on any of the conditions within the log. And you can also use Event Hub and Azure Storage, Event Hub for third-party integrations. We have examples of third-party integrating with our solution and basing their monitoring products based upon a telemetry. And you can store the telemetry information in Azure Storage for long-term retrieval. And
so out of the box, it's only 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. But if I wanted to do it long start, I'd have to move that off to Azure Storage.
Well, you can extend these 30 days. It comes at a cost, but for a cheaper long-term storage, instead of keeping the telemetry hot live, you might want to put it into Azure Storage Blob for a kind of like a cold storage for a longer-term retrieval.
Can I use both? Can I say, hey, I want it, for the hot for 30 days, and then after 30 days, move it to cold?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, cool. I might want to have some historical analysis, things like that. I still want to do hot, but I may want to keep 3 or 6 months of just to see a pattern or something.
Yeah, totally. You can stream in parallel to all these 3 destinations.
Oh, okay. Cool.
To the solution, to Event Hub, and Azure Storage.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, very nice.
Yeah, so this is the main dashboard of Azure SQL Analytics. Once you configure it and once all the telemetry starts streaming in, we collect various logs from the databases and various metrics telling us about the health state and performance of databases. So what you see here on the left-hand side are the minute metrics. So it's sorting them by the highest value. It's alerting me that this particular database is running out of storage. So 100% max out of storage. So these couple of databases here are running out of CPU.
Oh man, okay, wow. Yeah. All right.
In this part here, it's telling me about the resource utilization. This basically shows all of my, the whole fleet of databases I'm monitoring. The blue bar means that databases are not utilized. Green would mean that databases are utilized just a little bit. And this red here means that I have maybe a couple of hot databases. So what this allows me to do is to basically pinpoint databases that are running hot. Now, the useful purpose of that is if I have a hot database running in Elastic Pool, maybe I want to take it out of the pool, do something with it, fix it, before I put it back into the pool.
So did you say to set this up, because you said, hey, these will start managing once we configure it. Is that, I go in and say, here's the databases I just want to include in my SQL Analytics. And at that point it just goes, or how does that work?
So in order to start with the solution, you install it from the marketplace, you add it. You create a workspace, which is this dashboard that you see on the screen. You can have multiple dashboards, so that means multiple workspaces. So if you'd like to monitor different databases and different assets in different workspaces, you can do that. We actually have a client who has this master dashboard to monitor all the databases in a single spot, but then for each geographical region, for separate DBAs, he has separate dashboards to monitor just those databases. Once you do that, once you set up your workspaces, your dashboards, you need to stream the telemetry from databases, managed instances, or Elastic Pools into the solution.
And does that have to go into the database itself and say, all right, start streaming, or how does that work?
You start streaming by going to the portal. I can show an example here.
I hope I'm not jumping. I hope I don't want to jump ahead if you're going to get to this, but
that's okay. We might as well. So you go to your database, you go to monitoring, you go to diagnostic settings. And this is where you turn on diagnostic settings. And this is where you send your telemetry to the log analytics workspace, the dashboard you created.
So you create the workspace and then go to the database and say, all right, I'm ready to start sending telemetry and diagnostics data to the, All right. Cool, okay, that makes sense. I'm good. All right, sweet. So, I apologize, I love going back to that graph. I love the ability right out of the left, I'm like, hey, right out of the gate, I know I'm running out of space. Here's some databases that are high CPU, just bam, right there. Right? That's cool.
So let me just tell you a bit more about this dashboard here. So these graphs here on the left-hand side are raw telemetry, which basically tell you there are your insight into the queries executing on all the databases that you're monitoring. They tell you about query duration, errors, timeouts, wait types, everything that's going on your database. Deadlocks, blocking events. We can identify also ahead of the blocking chain, which really helps you troubleshoot. But the real smart piece is this graph here. Which is intelligent insights into performance. And by the way, all these graphs can be clicked upon and drilled down. You can get more information. But when I click on my intelligent insights graph, the automated system at the back end, the built-in intelligence, automatically troubleshoots performance problems for me. The problem is that every database has different workloads, and every database, although they might have the same schema, maybe executing same queries, they behave differently. They have various workloads depending on the applications and the number of users using them. So what our solution does is baselines the performance for each database based upon the past 7 days. And if there's any disturbance in the force in terms of the performance, the algorithm goes in and identifies the performance issue. We have 15 detectable performance degradation issues that it can detect.
Okay.
It displays them, once you click on the Intelligent Insights graph, it displays them in here. And in this particular case, I see that on these two elastic pools, I have 49 and 17 medium severity problems and 32 low severity problems. And then there are a number of databases that do have performance problems. So I can click further to investigate what those problems are.
Wow, so you can get very granular into the issue.
Exactly, and helps me investigate. Helps me from the sea of databases to basically focus my attention what I need to do in order to fix the performance.
Okay.
So let's say this database on the right-hand side says that it has a high impact performance issue. So I click on it. This is my database dashboard. This is where I can see everything that's going on in my database. I have the queries running on the database. It sorts them by the longest running queries, so I obviously need to pay attention to those. It on my database tells me that there are a couple of queries here that have had a longer execution time, so that's something that I can look into. There are different weights, database weights that I can look into, and the wonderful thing about it is this Intelligent Insights report, which you see in here, and telling me that I have the query duration increase, and then the timeouts have increased, and the workload has started piling up.
Oh, man. Okay.
So that basically means that the workload is piling up and the database cannot catch up. So what do? We click on View Full Insights Report to get more details, and here is this awesome superpower that now we're giving to all the developers, to all the DBAs, to all of our Azure users.
Giving you the power to solve this problem yourself, right?
Exactly, where you click on this intelligence in here, Intelligent Insights, full report, and I see that this query is attributing 82% to this particular problem. So most likely, if I do something with this query, it will fix the problem. But further, if I click on this query, it will give me the details about this query. It will give me the query text. What I see in here is that this particular query is using locking. I should not be doing that. So it locks the resources, it locks the table, and then slows everything down. And further here in the intelligence, we do have a report that blocking was detected on the database, and the head of the blocking chain, that is the blocking query, is this guy here, which, by the way, is this query here, which is not being executed a lot, but it's basically the head of the blocking chain. So this means that if I fix this query, that I will
solve the problem. Dang. How much of this information is using the adaptive query processing and the query store and things like this to gather this information?
It totally is using the it totally is using the query store to get this information. Query store logs and metrics.
Okay. But it's just putting it in a nice graphical interface to allow me to drill down. Otherwise, I'd have to do this all this manually. This just puts a nice UI on it. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Thank you.
That just solved. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm a DBA, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, because that just solved.
You said it.
That just solved probably hours and hours. Having to investigate. I can just drill. Click, 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 click. There's the problem.
Yeah, we actually had a client who had an intermittent problem for about 6 months, where he had increased timeouts, and that has resulted in his application being slow. This company runs about 200 databases, Azure SQL databases, and they could not figure out where the problem is. And they tried investigating, they tried dialing up the capacity, thinking that the problem will go away, that the application will become faster. But dialing up the capacity, the DTU consumption remained the same. So obviously something else was amiss. So they turned on to Intelligent Insights. Within a day, Intelligent Insights has detected that they have a couple of queries causing issues. They pinpointed what those queries are. They fixed them, deployed in production, and So
6 months to a day. Or probably less than a day.
Yeah, actually I have a blog post about it.
So. Oh, you know what? We'll put that in the description of this show so people can read about it. That is really cool. Okay. So how much? I mean, so I can go back. If you go back to the so there's things like you got weights. What are the weights? The errors.
timeouts,
right? And this is stuff that you would have
walk-in
to go and hit
deadlocks.
the DMVs individually to get this information.
Yes.
Right, one at a time. And here you are right there, right?
And also you would need to have advanced knowledge.
Yeah.
You need to know what you're doing, where this basically made it easier even for less experienced and for more experienced people to be able to save time to do this.
Okay, cool. Awesome. What can we expect? So here's a potentially dangerous question, because this is awesome, and this has been, and this is in preview, obviously. What can we expect if you can tell us? So I don't want to ask any potentially dangerous question, but what can we expect for GA? I mean, what kind of cool things are you going to be adding to this, or that we can expect?
Well, we're hoping
that you can tell us.
We're hoping to add more intelligence into the solution. We would like to make the solution smarter. We'd like also to make the solution more user-friendly in that respect, in terms of that it really helps you find out what the performance problems are. You can also set up the alerts from this solution. We'd like to, on any kinds of different issues. So we'd like to make that experience a bit better. Yeah,
thank you. I was actually going to add, that was a question I had and I forgot. Can you set up alerts in this to go, hey, we detected an issue, alert me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can do that.
This is great. Danny, thanks. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
So if they have, since it's in preview, and if people want to provide feedback, what's the best way for them to provide feedback?
Well, go to our Azure documentation, Azure SQL Analytics, leave a comment, and myself or our team will be responding to that. Okay, good. Awesome. Danny, thanks for coming. This is fantastic. If you haven't used this, shame on you. You should be using this. If you have any feedback, provide Danny the feedback, and it can only make it better. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.